Let me ask you about Giroux, because in this city in Philly, he's a bit of a odd. It's odd, Nick. He's a bit of a polarizing athlete. There's an uneducated portion of the fan base, is what I call them, that thinks he's overrated. I think the guy is underrated. And just because he doesn't have the team success in his captaincy, a lot of people hold that against him. But last I checked, he didn't sign Chris Vandevelde. He didn't, some of these guys that they had in here.
Forgot about him.
He had to drag some of these guys to try and even get to the playoffs. But when you look at Giroux and the totality of his career, now second all time in the Flyers points, just behind Bob Clark, he surpassed Bill Barber the other day, and 600 assists, most power play points in the NHL since 2010. What's the perception of him from outside Philadelphia?
Could almost guarantee you Giroux was sitting home at Christmas wishing for Vladimir Tarasenko to be under his tree on the 25th. I just think he's been missing that guy ever since like Scott Hartnell, right? Like it's been that long where G's had his man, and he, even the chemistry he built over the years with Jake Voracek obviously went a bit stale, and I still wonder about that deal 1-for-1 with Cam Atkinson. They really haven't done, in my opinion, enough to support Claude Giroux around him. But I think you're right. And by the way, you know this, but like I'm in the department where I think he's underrated. I was very disappointed over the years in some of the snubbings and how he wasn't being involved in conversations for the national squad, when I just think you look at the player, first his meaning to that organization and that city, and the way he plays the game on both sides of the puck, I think is severely underrated. Maybe that's just me saying that because I'm obviously a massive Claude Giroux fan. But I think he's just a guy who's never perceived as an upper echelon player. And I think that's unjust because, again, the point production could suggest that, and just the All-Star games and the potential and what he means to that team. So I'm very curious. Who knows? If Philadelphia is not in a playoff spot, if they're struggling to make the postseason, does he become available? I know he's been linked to, a team around his hometown like the Ottawa Senators. I think it's time to make a big-time decision for this organization, and I think obviously they're having these conversations, but, he's been so big for that team. There's no doubt about that.